Mickey Hart, redheads and deadheads.
Oh!
Songs I just wrote it. Ain't gonna be no white Christmas. Ain't gonna be no
Hey, Sammy Hagar, Bob Weir, Mickey Hart, Toby Keith. It's the Christmas song. Live from Cabo Wabo, Sammy's Restaurant down in Cabo. Sammy Hagar, one of my favorite entertainers. Of course, I had the privilege of meeting him. He made me feel like the greatest guitar player in the world when he showed me how to play Bad Motor Scooter. Awesome, awesome individual. Thank you to Sammy Hagar for bringing us in. It is Preservation Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Preservation Thursday. I'll put the link in the description there for that song so you all have it. It's a great song. It's a great song. You know it is. Of course, it's Sammy Hagar. You can't get better than that. Little Red Rocker. Ronnie Montrose brought him to us. Yes, he did. Boy, what a day we have on tap. Unbelievable stuff going on. Unbelievable stuff going on. In the promo yesterday, I called a bunch of people out. I am not going to call them out again today. You know who you are. You know who you are. And when we get done today, maybe everybody can pitch in and help a little. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. The question of the week. The question of the week was a joint effort. Heather Jean, Tiffany, and Earl Wary ask, how many contractors did Key Preservation stiff? Key Preservation, how many contractors did you stiff? You're being asked a question. Chime in. Chime in. Holy Toledo. In the crosshairs, ladies and gentlemen. In the crosshairs this week, we got Precision. We got Precision Property and Paramount. Paramount Asset Management. I want to say this, and I want to say this once again. I know the temptation is great to try to discredit somebody and make them look bad in public, in the social media platforms. However, it is kind of unprofessional, number one. And I know you're probably not going to expect what I'm going to say today, folks, but it needs to be said. It really does. We got the cold, chilly morning here in Northern California. We're in Doyle. Before we get going here, though, I want to talk a little bit. Well, you know what? Let me talk a little bit here, because what I have, we get into the auction houses on properties and stuff. I'm going to talk about the next project. Got the next project lined up, folks. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a doozy. But let's look here for just a minute. And I was going to do a whole segment on Aspen Grove. However, I'm waiting for some more information on this issue. There is a serious issue of ex-felons in control, the people with fiduciary crimes. And remember this, ladies and gentlemen. Remember this. Tell you what, this is going to be a preview. I have developed a theory about the Aspen Grove background check that goes back to 2014 when Eric Miller made Brett Douglas look like a fool in the Huffington Post article about industry compliance, because at that time, and we're going to discuss that in a special report after I get more information on some process that goes on in the industry. It's my theory. I'm not saying that's what happened, but in my humble opinion, Brett Douglas was a willing patsy in that, and we'll discuss that down the road. The people I called out yesterday, I called them out for a reason, because they're all in a position to help remedy problems in the industry. All in a position. You guys remember the bubble diagrams that I showed last week? I'm going to show them again. We're going to talk about that before we're done here today. But before we get there, if somebody issues you a work order and the price on the work order, the fee, whatever you want to call it, what you're being told you're going to get paid to go do a job 2.5 hours away from your office, and they want to back charge you $450 because you say no, that's illegal, folks. They can't do it. I'm sorry, they cannot do that. I don't care what the company is. I don't care who it is. That's illegal, period. And now, everybody I called out, this is where you all need to pay attention, because we have an industry gone awry. There's no regulation. It's a wild, wild west. Everybody agrees with it. Every industry veteran that speaks on the thing, they all agree with it. They all say the same thing, and they all say the same thing, backing up the activity of the membership of the leading trade organization. I'm going to try to be very generic today, ladies and gentlemen, and diplomatic, if you will. I'm going to make a very valid attempt, and I got a feeling it's going to be difficult, so please bear with me. The property preservation industry wants their cake and they want to be able to eat it too, as that saying goes. Their cake is the independent contractor element of the industry. You're an independent contractor, but yet if you tell them no, you get back charged $450 on a $50 work order? I'm sorry, how's that work? You're an independent contractor. You have the right to say no as a business owner, as somebody whom has a business license that entitles you the right to refuse service to anybody for any reason. For any reason. You don't have to give a reason. I don't want your business today. Please go away. You're a business owner. You have the right to say that. So why is it when you say that, management who wants to call you and misclassify you as an employee, they misclassify you, calling you the independent contractor, but they demand you go do something, and when you don't do it, they want to charge you for it? If you're crossing a state line, that just became a RICO violation. If you're not licensed in the state where the work is going to, you have another problem. I'm not a lawyer, I'm just pretending to be, okay? So don't bank on that. Poppycock. I don't need to be a lawyer to understand subject matter jurisdiction. You don't need to be a lawyer to understand that if you're being told where to buy your insurance, where to get your business license, who to buy your materials from, what style of clothing you can wear, how to talk to somebody, when to talk to somebody, what photographs to take, what equipment to use, what equipment you have to buy to use on a job, what materials you have to buy to use on the job, you might be an employee. Wake up! Slap yourself for crying out loud. How can you be worried that somebody's going to back charge you? Furthermore, how can the person back charging have the huevos to say, hey, if you don't go do the $50 work order, we're back charging you $450? I'm sorry, that doesn't wash with me, and it shouldn't wash with you on either side of the aisle. It shouldn't wash with you. It's illegal, period. And if you think I'm kidding, ask Five Brothers what happens when they put an illegal charge back on Aladay LLC. I had my money in 24 hours, folks. Lien the property and see what happens. Here's what you have to remember. And I'm really upset with the judge right now. I don't know if you're following the Toys R Us case. I would say boycott Toys R Us. And here's why. Judge just made a decision We bailed out the banking industry, did we not? Did we not bail out the banking industry? Did they not give them a buttload of money to rectify and remedy their problems and the financial mess that they created? And I've been saying this since 2009. The banking industry parlayed the economy, pyramided the economy. When it collapsed, they pyramided the economy on the back of taxpayers, on the back of low-income earning taxpayers. They parlayed an entire economy. The United States economy is what they did. Then, oh my God, they went to Congress and cried and got bailed out with our frickin' tax dollars. Now they don't want to pay to clean these properties up, and they're dumping them at auction. You don't think for 1 minute that financial loss that they're claiming that they don't lose? If you get foreclosed on a property, you get sent a 1099 from the bank for the interest they don't get to collect. But yet they get your property. They get all the money you've paid into it. It's like I said, let's say you had an $800 mortgage payment and you were in a house for 10 years and you faithfully paid that mortgage payment for 10 years. That's $96,000 you have paid on that property. And now something happens. The economy collapses. There's no jobs. We have idiots running around in Washington screaming that they're going to do us all this favor and make everything right because they have some kind of program that's going to save everybody. Well, we know it didn't do that. We know they took our tax dollars. Now they're using our tax dollars again. And now, here we go, Toys R Us. What did they do with that tax dollars to the bankers? What did they do with that money? The very people that collapsed the economy got billion-dollar bonuses. Toys R Us, right in the middle of a bankruptcy thing, and the judge says you can pay all the upper C-level employees bonuses. Excuse me, you're going bankrupt, and you want to pay the people that have caused you to go bankrupt a bonus? I'm not getting that, folks. I'm not getting it. I would say don't go to Toys R Us just for that reason, because it's a banking. It's like a banker's move here. It's like what the leading trade industry does. The leading trade organization in this industry does. I've never seen an organization that allowed members to be disrespectful and cheat each other like that one does. And you know who I'm talking about, don't you? You know who I'm talking about. You cannot be forced to do a service. That makes you an employee. It's that simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts on that. Now, why do I bring this up? The National Mortgage Servicing Association is demanding in front of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they have put a white paper discussing industry standards. How many of us for the last 7 years have been saying everybody needs to be on the same page? We're going from A to B and everybody wants us to take a different route to accomplish the same thing. How do we do that? Let's make no mistake, the National Mortgage Servicing Association, everybody in that, including associate members of that organization, are in the National Association of Mortgage Field Services, and they're pushing the work down the pipe. That is who's doing it. And the mortgage people, the people with the mortgages, are now saying we need industry standard across the board so everything is the same. I think Rich Roos said that the other day in a thread. I've been saying it for 7 years. How do we do that? We establish an education program. Now, let's go back to Mr. Miller and Mr. Douglas in 2014. What happened after that Huffington Post article came out? at the expense of the contractors. Our local police department, $20 background check on the employees that you did is no longer any good. You have to pay $65 and send that money to another member of an organization in another country to have your background check and be approved to go scrub a commode that the bank isn't losing any money on, and they're cheating people out of money. When in fact, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau stipulated the background checks belong on those touching the money, handling the money, i.e., in other words, ladies and gentlemen, everybody from the bank to you is supposed to be background checked. Why aren't they? How are the people with fiduciary crimes allowed? How is somebody that has a current 15-year history, how is this happening? How, Mr. Weathers, is somebody like that put in play? I'm sorry. I've been beat up for something I did 30 years ago. And everybody that was involved in the crime has gotten over it and moved on in life. The only people that haven't moved on in life are Mutt and Jeff, who want to still try to beat me up over the madness in my life back then, and what I did was stupid and illegal and every other thing. 30 years ago. Not last week, not last month, not last year. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm sorry, but that spells something funny in Gotham. That is somebody doing something for a buddy. There's another company out there right now. I'll find it here in just a second, but they're on the watch list. They have, it's bad news is what it is, man. It's bad news. My understanding, hang on just a minute here, hang on, I don't know. Oh no, it's actually in the device I'm looking at. Hang on just a minute here. It might be in the device I'm recording on. I don't know. Let me see. Yes, it is. I will put the link. I'll make sure I make a note in the description here today, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't think I can pull it up at the same time. I think it came in on a text and not in an email. So, but there is another company out there. According to this company, there's fiduciary crimes, and oh, by the way, here we go. I think this is it right here. Another fraudster is the email that came in. Chestnut Inspection Services. Chestnut Inspections. Warning label goes out on Shannon Chestnut. It's a couple. The photograph is a couple, so I don't know if the lady in the photograph is Shannon or the guy is Shannon. Chestnut Inspections on the watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Supposedly, there's some bad mojo in the background here. Let me see here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. All I've been told is this guy, these people somehow have, let me see, become a village clerk, meet people in the new neighborhood. It's a convoluted situation, but let me see, it was kind of trial by fire. There's a lot of worry stuff you have to do, even in a small town. Recent crime. When this background situation came in, we all said, hey, well, wait a minute. I said, no, you're not getting my employees' information. That is not happening. And when I checked with everything, it was actually illegal for me to send my employee information to them for background checks. First and foremost, we used a payroll service, of course. They did the background checks, and technically Aladay LLC's employees belonged to them. I was leasing them back to our company. There was a big issue, and as soon as that was pushed on them, guess what? They said no. We're not going to allow that. When I pushed back, because at the time we were doing AMS, AIM, and we were on board with them, and of course, who was the other one? The private companies we work with, it was never an issue, ladies and gentlemen. It was always an issue with the membership. The membership. Now, why do I bring that up? Because, in my humble opinion, the background is a revenue generating stream. It's a scam. It's a scam. The background check you get from Aspen Grove, Sterling Back, whatever and make no mistake, Sterling Back is a subsidiary of Aspen Grove. It's all the same people. Make no mistake about that. While they're a member. Why can't your police department background check your employees in your community? Hello? I'm not working in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm not working over in Ireland anywhere. I'm not working in Florida. I work in California. That's who needs a background check. People in California need to find out about me, not you in Florida, not you in Ohio. Oh, and by the way, all the views and searches on me from Cleveland, Akron area. Hey, hi, how are you? How are you? Yeah. Let me see. Where do I got? I got St. Louis was on there this week. Los Angeles, Cleveland, and Akron. Those the highest searches this week. Hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. One of the biggest issues, and that to me, I think when I bring this background issue up and the issue of employee versus independent contractor, there's something going on right now, and this is what I'm saying. After that interview with Mr. Miller and Mr. Douglas in the Huffington Post, we got the background check and everybody had to pay for it. It was at the contractor labor expense. Right now there's a big deal going on. And the conversation, there's no questions in my mind, none, absolutely none, that this conversation and thread was not set up and talked about behind the scenes before it was put on the board. And I say that because it involves education in the industry, although that's not how it comes out. It came out as, if you don't know what convey is, stick with REO. Think about that for just a minute. If you don't know what convey means, if you don't know what it is, why are you doing it? How are you doing it? Okay, so now there's this big deal in convey, conveyance. I agree. It is very, very subjective as to whom is issuing the work order. Why? That's the question. Why? Again, we go from A to B. When we had the HUD contract, convey, there better not be debris. There better not, the places we wiped them down. We did not scrub and clean and spit shine white glove treatment. We wiped everything down, broom swept condition. You didn't even have to wash the windows. You just wiped the crud off them. All debris removed, yard manicured a little bit. That was it. There was none of this spit shining stuff that I'm seeing called conveyance now. So this is my gut feeling. This issue and the direction that all the conversation is coming from on the convey, if you don't know convey, stay with REO. Everybody involved in these conversations all over, and it's not just on Facebook that my inbox blew up. I got over 800 emails. So everybody is sending me this stuff and I'm loving it. Keep sending the stuff. Keep sending me information that we can use, that maybe we can bring a little attention to the industry. And now here's where everybody I called out can come into play. Everybody I called out can come into play. You remember the bubble diagrams, ladies and gentlemen? You remember that little doohickey right there? Can you see all that? Let me show you something here. Okay, let's take a look at something here. This first circle, that's your client. That's the guy issuing the original work order. There's the order mill. Every one of these dots out here, the bigger dots, that's a regional. Then they sub it out again, and sometimes it's subbed out again after that, okay? That fee going to this person, that's who's supposed to be doing the work. Not you. Them. They get paid to do the work. They turn around and sub it to you. And please, I don't know, well, I do know it was Uncle Ronnie who outsourced United States. He deregulated everything and got everybody with an outsourcing mentality to generate revenue. We can make more money this way by paying less over here. Now, here's what happens with this scenario. This is what happens with this scenario. Every time that work order gets handed off, there is more risk. When it finally gets to you, and it's been reduced from $100 to a $40 fee, because everybody's taken their issue, and now you have to spend gas, insurance, all that stuff. You have to spend your daily overhead to go do a $40 work order that might be 2 hours away. You have generated negative revenue. You've generated negative revenue. Now, my thought is this. Kind of same bubble diagram, only though we have it a little different. You have the client. You have the company. And we'll use Aladay LLC, for example. You, or your company. We'll call it your company, okay? You have your company. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We covered 12,000 square miles. I had, including myself, 6 field inspectors or field supervisors. We were able to create an inspection system. If we can go 5 years without a callback. I've been doing this for 10 years now. 1 callback. The callback generated my quality control program for our company, and we never had another callback. At the time, the quality control procedure was accepted by HUD and by Fannie Mae representatives. They said that is an excellent thing. Again, how, pardon me here. Ooh. Oh. It is chilly in Northern California this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is. Holy Toledo. Here's what you do. You get field supervisors in an area. My office is here. They always want you to cover at least 50 miles one way. A 50-mile radius, ladies and gentlemen, of our office gave us a 12,000 square mile coverage area. Think about that. That's a lot of area. That's 100 miles. If you, a 50 mile, yeah, you know, you go one way is a radius. The diameter is both of those. So you're dealing with a 100-mile diameter. So you take and do that. That's a lot of area. A lot of area. You put, and this is where the work has to come back to the local community. The banks HUD, Fannie Mae, all these places have offices all over the country. They have offices in almost every city in the country, every major city. And I'm going to pick on HUD, and I'm going to ask, we're going to tag Dr. Ben Carson on this, and I'm going to send this out to Kimberly Satterfield and Mr. Carnes, Craig Carnes, and if you're utilizing an office, let's say we're utilizing the HUD office in Reno, Nevada. The guy in the HUD office in Reno, Nevada, he is contracting with local contractors. I'm bringing my business license. I'm bringing my insurance. I'm bringing everything, all my documentation that I am a viable business entity into this office. He's marking me down, putting me in his file. And okay, Aladay does this, and this. They don't do roofs, they don't do plumbing, and they don't do electrical. So let me go get the electrical guy over here. Let me go get Paul's Plumbing. You see what I'm saying? They get the local people in the area. And there's a reason I say this. There's a reason I say this. I say this because that guy in the office in Reno is going to be more versed with our local codes, our local laws, our regulations, our all the covenants and conveyance and all that kind of stuff. He's going to be familiar with all of those regulations a lot better than Mr. Carnes is in Atlanta, Georgia. A lot better than Dr. Ben Carson is running around the country doing his secretarial duties as Secretary of HUD. The local guy. Now, why I'm on that subject, that local guy in the office, our taxes are paying his salary, and they're not doing anything right now. They're a figurehead. They're just kind of sitting there in the seat collecting money. Let's make them do their job. That's all I'm saying. Think about that. Think about how that works. Now, I know. Everybody from the second tier down is going to bitch and moan and whine. Oh, you're taking our job. You're taking our job. Well, then do your job correctly. Go out and develop the area and put the employees under it. And this is where I have a serious problem with the auction going on. Because now they're dumping it, and they're dumping it on somebody else to clean it up. And who's going to clean it up? The taxpayers. Because the taxpayer, you go buy the property. Here's the deal that we're working on. Here is my next project, and we're going to start filming it. I talked with the gentleman yesterday that I'm getting involved with. His name is Josh. He's worked a deal out with somebody, and I'm going to help him go in and clean it up. He knows that's what I do. He knows I'm good at it. He's seen what I've done here. He also knows that if there wasn't outside interference and I was allowed to do my job, I would have been done and I'd have been out of here by now. But that is not the case. There's, in my humble opinion, a seriously psychological issue going on with people wanting something done and not allowing people to do their job. That's just my humble opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. It's experience speaking. Experience. You can guarantee that. But here's how you do this. You set this up. Here you are here. You have all your field supervisors out, your field supervisors who, and then underneath your field supervisors, depending on the volume in the area, you may need 3 or 4 laborers. You may need assistants. Now, here's what we did. We had 27 full-time employees, and I probably had 40 more that were on call. And then as we started scaling back, as we started, okay, you're an order mill, we're not dealing with you anymore. When we adopted that policy for our business, we scaled all the way back to where everybody was on call in specific areas. And I still have people on call. I can still call people and say, hey, I got some work. Are you available tomorrow or the next day? So, but what you do is if you have enough volume, you set up a landscape maintenance, what do they call it? Recurring services for lawns. You set up a maid service department. Okay, you negotiate fees. They get $300 for those services every month, so you can negotiate a fee. And here's where I think everybody gets sideways on this and doesn't really think about it. The infrastructure is in place right now to where I threw Paramount and Precision out there, and so let's use them as examples. Their infrastructure is in place to where they have employees in the office, and they could go out into the field with territories. You have territory supervisor. That's what it is. That you're in charge of this area. You coordinate all the employees. The workload's going to come to you. It goes back. Then Paramount turns everything in. Everybody underneath there is employees. And let's be real, you know it is. You know it is. The independent contractor, the employee issue is a ruse. And if we as an industry don't sit down and rectify this, who's going to do it? Who is going to do it? In my humble opinion, right now, they're setting the industry up to beat you up. They have been trying. They tried to steal John Allen's education material. They bootlegged, the organization bootlegged, it's been well documented, Rob Preston's educational material. This has been an issue in the industry for a very, very, very long time. Education in the industry. Who provides it? 501c3s cannot provide education because it's income. It's a revenue stream. You're not supposed to have education as an independent contractor. Then again, as an independent contractor, you should not be recruited out of a help wanted job employment section of any thing. You as an independent contractor, you should be recruited out of a business directory, recruited from a business opportunity ad, not general labor, not skilled labor, not I need somebody to mow my lawn, can you help me? Not the way it's being recruited. Not, I need somebody to mow a lawn in Texas and I'm in Montana. I'll send you the work order. Just send me the pictures. That's not how you recruit independent contractors. That's a buddy system and it's broke. And I'm sorry, but it is. And when I see it happen all the time, it just is. It's like, are you kidding me? You cannot be doing this stuff. But we know they are. We know they are. Underneath your field supervisors, you have your laborers, and your field supervisors create your QC program because you do the initial inspection. How do we get everybody on the same page? This is the big issue. Oh, well, you have this, you have that, you have a guy forget. Well, this is how I did it. Okay, this is how we did it, and this is how, for the entire time, even today, we have only had 10 years in business, one callback. Okay? After that callback, I would do an initial inspection on a property. I would always take another person with me or whomever did the inspection. There were two people. Why two people? You have two sets of eyes. People see different things. Nothing special. There's no trick. There's no scientific explanation to it. It's a fact. I'm going to see something different than you see when we go look at something. It's that simple. So you both get your we used a checkbook. We had the home checkbook. Where'd I got that? I got it right here somewhere this morning. But again, the home checkbook is something that we used to set up our inspection and do that. So we would check things off on that. This allowed us right from day one, debris counts, what damages were there, what safety hazards were there, what health issues were present. What are we going to need to get a roofing contractor? Will we need an electrical contractor? Do we need a plumbing contractor out here? Is it visibly apparent? A lot of times you won't know about plumbing contractors until you try to do a winterization and do a pressure test. So you don't know if you need a plumber or not, or if you have bad bad plumbing. You don't know until you have a complete inspection of the property. My humble opinion, this stopped everything that happened on the callback and the chargebacks. Why does it do that? Because on day one, everybody from you to whoever generated the original work order, all the way up to the client, gets the same information. There's programs out there that allow for all that information to be put in a system. Why isn't it being used? Why isn't it being utilized? Why isn't technology being used properly? Why are we paying all these people to do something at our risk? Our money is at risk, and it gets all the way up the line, and then somebody says, oops, you did this wrong. We can't pay you. But somebody got paid. Trust me, somebody got paid. When you're being told you can't get paid because you don't have a picture, somebody's gotten paid on your work, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee it. I will guarantee it. That you forgot a picture 6 months ago, that's poppycock. Poppycock. Somebody's getting paid. I don't care what anybody says. I know better. I know better. That's business. Somebody got paid. It just wasn't you. Don't know what to say, folks. Now, you go inspect that property. You give them, and it was like I said, when I discussed this with the owner of our business, with Lacey, it was like, hey, you know what? Let's give it to them. Yeah, but that takes an hour to do it. I'm paying. I go, hang on. How much money did it cost us today to go do this? And she goes, it cost $180 in labor. We didn't generate any. I go, bingo. Let's give them the $20. Let's give them the 2 hours worth of time here. Let's give them the information so we don't have to go back. That was day one. Day two, we negotiate everything on the property. Period. It's all negotiated, and the work order is generated on the work that is going to be done. Not do it and we'll fill in the blanks later. And that is a problem in the industry. You all know it. You all know it. And those in the upper echelon of management take advantage of it, and you know you do. If you sit here and tell me you don't, you're a liar. Period. Don't sit here and try to blow smoke up anybody's skirt. You know what's going on. It's a serious issue in the industry, and it needs to stop. If we don't stop it, if we don't come together and reorganize this industry, guess who is going to do it? Not me. It's going to be the Department of Labor. It's going to be the IRS. It's going to be the Social Security Department because they're not getting their tax dollars. It's going to be the unemployment agencies on state levels that are not getting their tax revenue. That's who's going to come in and beat everybody up. You mark my words. Look what's happening with FAS right now. Over $2 million, and they're not even done. I'm betting they get into a $100 million fine, and I'm betting it's going to be $100 million before it's over on that company. That's how much money they're going to have to back pay everybody. I'm not, that's the courts. I got nothing to do with it. It's the courts. It's the law. It's the law. It's the law. When you break it, you have to answer to the powers to be. I did. So everybody who breaks the law goes in front of a judge. They got to answer for their crime. That's what America's about. That's our judicial system. These are crimes that are being committed. They're crimes being committed. And when they cross state lines and they're not licensed in the other state that they're going into, there's a whole bunch more problems there. I guess the point I'm trying to make here, and I've been saying this for a long time, the industry's kind of kittywampus, but it's not in such bad shape we can't rectify and remedy on our own. This crap about compliance with the background check to save face, it ain't working. It ain't working. I'm sorry, you ain't saving no face. Nobody's saving face here. And nobody looks good to the powers to be because complaints keep coming in day after day after day after day after day. And the people who are supposed to have the background checks that are stealing the money don't have the background checks. And oh, by the way, they're supposed to. I didn't make those rules up. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau did. And I am betting right now all the powers to be in NAMFS have breathed a sigh of relief that Mulvaney is over there now. I'm betting when they saw Mick show up, they just went, whew, boy, we just dodged a bullet. And you know what I'm talking about. Every one of you know what I'm talking about. I'm not blowing hot air here. You guys know what I'm talking about. On day 2, that property has been inspected. Everything is put on the table. Everything is put on the table. Now, some of you are probably out there saying, oh, yeah, come on, you're not perfect. No, you're right, I'm not. I'm not. Did we make mistakes? Yes. And guess what? That mistake was on me, on my inspector, on my company. We ate it. That's business. What's not business is being told after you do a job and you've handed it off to this person and they handed it back up the line to another person, to the client, and then you get told 6, 7, 8 months later, a year later, 3 years later, like I'm hearing MCS doing, a picture's missing, or we can't pay this, or we can't pay that, or we can't do this. That's illegal. Once a service has been approved and paid, they can't go back and say no. And this is where labor has to start pushing back. Why do they do this? Because they recruited you out of the general labor section on Craigslist, and they know you don't have an attorney. They walked you through a business licensing process. They walked you through the insurance. They told you where to go buy your supplies. They told you where to get locks from, what numbers to use on the key codes. They have told you what materials to use when providing services. They have told you, oh, you have to have a gas-powered air compressor. You cannot have canned air. It has to be a gas-powered air compressor. They make you go buy an $800 air compressor to what? Do a $20 service? Do a $50 service? You have to buy an $800 tool. Some of them are $1,200, depending on where you get them from. But the point I'm trying to make here is you shouldn't be having to buy all that because you're an independent contractor. You should already be set up. You shouldn't have to be told how to get a business license. You're an independent contractor. You shouldn't be told who to buy insurance from. You're an independent contractor. You have it. Fix the industry. Fix the industry. Everybody I called out yesterday is in a position to do so. They have been for a long time, but they're comfy with the status quo. And I'm calling every one of you out to come together, sit down, and figure it out. Because y'all are smart enough. You're not stupid. I listen to your conversations. I see what you say. You know how to play both ends against the middle. Why aren't you guys? I mean, you've even gone as far as some of you grabbing membership in 2 different organizations, one fighting the other one, for crying out loud. You know what you're doing's wrong. So let's stop. Let's come together. Let's say, okay, hey, wait a minute. Why can't we do this? HUD, Mr. Carnes, I know you have a delivery issue in the 4S area here in Nevada and Idaho. Why don't you roll the dice and take a chance and try what I'm saying? Think about it. Why don't you roll the dice and take a chance? Get those people in the Reno office, get those people in the Vegas office, in the Boise office, to find contractors to do the work the way it's supposed to be done correct the first time. Not all this. Look, property preservation is really a crazy industry because it covers too many disciplines. In my humble opinion, a property preservation contractor should be removing debris, should be performing janitorials, and doing landscape maintenance. Everything else is a skilled trade, and in most states needs a licensed contractor to do the roof, to do the electricity, to do the plumbing. It's that simple. It's that simple. So why are we going through all this only to have the client months down the road say no, have the house is going to default, have squatters trashing the houses, gutting these homes, taking all the copper, taking everything out they can go scrap and sell. And then it goes to auction, and a property that would normally sell for $150,000, $175,000 is being auctioned off at $5,000. $5,000 is what the guy paid, the realtor paid for the acre and a half of property, and I'm going to start filming it. We're going to start doing stuff. I'll get some stuff up, and that's what that's the next thing we're going to address here. These properties that they do, and make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, you mark my words, they're going to try to backdoor an education program and dump it, and they're going to dump it, all the expense and everything, they're going to dump it on labor. On labor. You need gift ideas, ladies and gentlemen, check the website out. Selling antiques. I'm selling all my collectible stuff. Got to make the ends meet. This property. Let's talk about this property for a minute. I'm going to start filming it in the next day or so when I get over there with the gentleman. We're going to be doing some stuff on it, but I'm going to show you. There's over 100 yards of debris. This place is trashed. All the wiring's been pulled out of it. It's red tagged, but they paid $5,000 for it. This is a deal. I'm getting ready to help this guy out, but this is a deal the guy made. Pretty lucrative deal, too. He's got 3 years. Clean the property up. He has to show along the way that progress is being made. But everything about the property is him. There's a 1, 2, 3. It's a 4-bedroom house, and completely gutted though, man. No kitchen, no appliances, nothing. No wire. It's red tagged for electricity and all that. So, but it's got a barn with a loft in it, so you know there's 100 yards of debris in that, easy. Here's the thing. He cleans his property up. At the end of 3 years, if both parties want to move forward, he can give him $19,000 for the property. An acre and a half of land in California, that's a good deal. That's a damn good deal. Now, here's what happens if they don't decide to move forward. Realtor gets the property cleaned up and he can sell it for more than $19,500. In the meantime, we get to go clean the property up, take care of business, what we're doing. This is going to be, we're going to be involved. The gentleman I'm going to be helping out is involved in the medical marijuana industry. He's a producer, and because of my agriculture background, I do dirt. He wants to do an organic, sustainable operation. I'm going to help him set that up, and hopefully by the time we're done with that project, I will have a decent portfolio like I was supposed to have at this project. Before they got kittywampus in the head about whatever it is they want to be kittywampus about, and cancel the project in the middle of it, and I wasn't able to complete the portfolio to show stuff. This one, we're going to film from day one. We're going to start filming it from day one. We went and looked at it yesterday, started, we can use a place for storage right now. It's not habitable. As I said, it was red tagged, and we'll get to that. We'll do some stuff there. And here's what I would like to do. All the people I called out, you know who you are, and I've already been emailing backdoors with some of you already, and I appreciate the input that you've already given me, but I want input from you. I'm going to start doing videos on this property. Let's figure it out, folks. Let's figure it out. Let's show with this property, we can do two things. Number one, first and foremost, you know me, labor. I'm going to put this together in a manner to show why labor can't do the work at the numbers you want to pay. And hopefully management will see the issue that they have created. Because, and when I say management, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking the banks. I'm not talking the membership. I'm talking the banks. That's who owns the paper. That's who holds the deeds, the titles, whatever you want to call it, to the property, not the order mill. This is why I've always said, lien the property. If you're getting screwed by an order mill, lien the property. It doesn't belong to them, and it puts them in a jackpot. And if people would have done that, started 10 years ago when all the crazy stuff would have happened, guess what? We wouldn't have had the Carol Boyd problem. We wouldn't have had the Berghorst problem. We wouldn't have had the booze check problem. We wouldn't have half the problems that are going on with Safeguard and everybody else in the industry. You lien the property. The banks are not going to tolerate that for very long. They're going to say, okay, stop. Get out of here. We can't do business with you because you don't do business right. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So, with this property, we're going to get it set up. We're going to take a look at, we're going to do a walkabout. And what I will do is we will film the property condition report. We will walk through, we will show all the damages, we will show everything. We'll walk the property, as I say, and show everything. And maybe I'll have Josh do the filming, and I'll walk around and we can point things out and stuff like that. But what I want to be able to do is show labor why you cannot accept $18, $20 a yard. Why HUD pays $50 a yard. I want you to think about that for a minute. HUD pays $50 a yard for a reason. For a reason. So, what I want to do with this property, I want to, of course, show the members of labor out there that are struggling to make ends meet why you have to say no. And at the same time, we're going to show management why this setup that they have doesn't work right, why it's kittywampus, and why everybody needs to come to the table and come up with a solution before we get beat up by regulatory commissions and agencies and everything going on. To me, it's crazy. There's no reason for it. I'm going to say something that I said in a conversation the other day. And this was, the subject matter was sexual harassment. It applies across the board. You really need to sit down and evaluate, ask yourself, what does it mean to be a human being? When you can answer that question, then, and only then, will you be able to respect your fellow human being and understand how things work and why communication is so important to getting something done. There's a serious disconnect between the brain and the heart when it comes to compassion for each other in this country right now. And I don't want to hear all the madness out there about, oh, you did this or you did that or you did this. And that's nonsense. We know what's been done. It's a mess. How do we fix it and go forward? How do we go forward and make everything copacetic and get the machine running smooth? How do we go, do we, everybody quit and go get a new job? No, we don't. We find out how to do it. We sit down and we talk to each other. I got some cool gift ideas on the website, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if you can help us out, this project here, it's going to be coming out of pocket, so I'm going to be generating revenue whatever way I can. You need a manual. Do you need some consultation help? I need some work. Help me out. If you can donate, folks, remember, we do all this for free. I don't charge when somebody calls me to research a company or the GMO stuff that we do. I don't charge. Before I go. Stacy. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank on her last name. Stacy Barth. Stacy Barth. She is a gubernatorial candidate for the state of California. I have an interview lined up with her. Do you have questions that you would like to ask the governor, the candidate for governor of the state of California? I got a couple questions concerning real estate that I'm going to be asking her. I know real estate's taking a hit out here, but I'm going to ask her to try to address this employee independent contractor issue and how that works in California. I got GMO questions I'm going to ask her. I put that out the other day in the GMO thread. Do you have questions? Do you have a question? Here's a chance to get a question in front of one of the candidates, and maybe we can generate a little bit of conversation for the property preservation industry. I think she's a non-GMO girl. She's a very attractive lady, and my experience in that GMO realm, guys, gals, the good-looking women are all non-GMO girls, man. People like Hillary Clinton and Merkel are GMO. They like the GMO, so it's night and day there, night and day. Hey, it's time to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. You like what you hear, give us a thumbs up. If you got a comment, please put a comment down below. The gentleman that I called out, I didn't call him out to try to be mean or anything. I called them out because they're in a position in the industry to assist with that issue. Get rid of the pecuniary greed, and let's get down to brass tacks. Let's get down and take care of business, and let's actually operate as a cohesive unit across the land. Can it be done? Can it be done? Can it be done? I don't know. I think it can. I think it can. In my humble opinion, it can. You need a field supervisor, I'm available. I can help out. I can help you get established. If you want to establish an area, I can come in. I can help you show you how to do that. It's real easy. We just draw circles on the paper and draw lines to them. It's not very difficult. It's pretty simple. It really is. If you need some help, let me know. If you need to, I'm not an accountant, but boy, oh boy, do I have him in pocket. I can guarantee I can get you an accounting question answered. But do you need to understand how to do a spreadsheet, a break-even analysis, a break point on your bulk services you're doing? If you need assistance, you can say something down below. Aladay LLC at the Gmail, folks. Send me an email. Not a problem. Let's have a great day. Let's have a great day. Hey, you know what? Let's get Sammy back up here and let him play us out, okay? Let's get... Ooh, somebody just sent me a thing. Oh, and she's a cutie pie, too. Holy Toledo. Yeah. Let's see here. Beep, beep, beep. Get the flip-flops out. Get the flip-flops out. And let's go see. Let me see. That's Beaver Crossing. There we go, right there. Get the flip-flops out. And we are going to see... let me see here. The Christmas song by Sammy. And we're going to have a great day.
Get me out of this deep freeze. 85 degrees. Yeah, I'm packing my tank tops. My board shorts and my flip-flops. Take a first class non-stop. Down Mexico way.
Ha 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 ha.
Santa's going south for Christmas.
Little Red Rocker, baby. I'll tell you what. If you ever get the opportunity to meet the man, he's one of the greatest people I have ever met. And I kid you not. He asked me what my favorite song was. I said, hey, Bad Motor Scooter. He set me down with the guitar, man. He showed me the chords, GCA or whatever it was. I don't even remember now. I'd have to look them up. We started jamming and we did the song and everything. This guy made me feel like the greatest guitar player on the planet. That is just the kind of person he is. He is one of the greatest human beings I have ever met and had the experience to sit down and talk to. Sammy Hagar, ladies and gentlemen. The Little Red Rocker. Santa Claus going south for Christmas. Get his Christmas song. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. And this particular one, it had Eddie Van Halen. It had all the greats. Bob Weir. So... I hope you're getting ready for Christmas, and I hope you're going to have a safe Christmas. If you're doing a Christmas party, please use a designated driver. I know I've gone a little longer today than most times, but again, if you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up. Hit the website on a donation. Subscribe to the station. If you got information, if you have input, please, let's get a conversation going here. Let's find out. I don't know where the IFAST folks are. They've disappeared into the sunset somewhere. International Association Field Service Technicians, are you out there? Mr. Brian Mingham, NRES. What do you think? Mr. Miller. Come on, dude. What do you think? We gotta, and when I say we, I'm talking everybody. I'm talking labor. I'm talking the people in the middle management. They're the third and fourth tier places like Precision that are second in line, Safeguard, all these places. there's too many hands in the middle, and it's got to stop. We got to figure it out, or it's going to get done for us. And when it gets done for us, everybody that I just mentioned, those names I just mentioned, if it gets done for us, you know it's going to cost everybody. Something to think about on Preservation Thursday. We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. And make sure to tune in. I got information coming. We will have a special report on the background check issues going on in the industry right now. I am waiting for information from other people for input on this so we can put a package together and put a little show together for you. And maybe we can understand how a 15-year criminal can get an ABC number when, according to people out there, they're not supposed to be working in the industry. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's have a great day, ladies and gentlemen, and let's all be safe out there.